Okay, Tombs of a Mascot 530 Invo Raid. This is with Overly Draining on, Hardcore Run on, and Walk Forward on. To farm this raid, I recommend bringing max melee except for Torva plate legs. Even if you have them, I would leave them at home. Leave them in the bank. Infernal Cape is required if you haven't done Inferno. I wouldn't do this. Grazi Rapier, or the Inquisitor's Mace, or Sailder, Blade of Sailder. Any of those three will work. This is the cheapest one. And Bone Dagger. For range, you use range in Baba's Monkey Room for about 2 minutes, and on Warden's P2 for about a minute for the second down. And that's basically the only time you use range. You do have to one-shot Baba's boulders. So for most people, even if you have a T-bow, I recommend bringing a Bofa and Crystal top and bottom. That's a better combo for Baba's Monkey Room, so that'll speed up that room. And the DPS loss on Warden's P2, the second down, is very short-lived. It'll probably slow that room down by probably 20 seconds. But you get to basically save an extra inventory spot because I have to bring 4 pieces here instead of only 3 pieces. So that's why I recommend Bofa over T-bow for these. Bring a Circle, bring a Bone Dagger, bring Amethyst, arrows, and Max Mage. You need the Magus Ring, you need Max Mage. I don't bring Chinchampas, or definitely not a blowpipe. Yeah, you need to be able to, one way or another, one-shot the boulders. I'm bringing a Scorching Bow. You can also do a Venator Bow, or I think a Venator Bow requires Rigor to be on. And then there's another one, Crystal Bow, and then Bofa. I think those are the 4 that you can use to one-shot the boulders. So for pre-pot, I do Divine Ranging, Prayer Regen, and then before hitting the Saturated Heart, you do need a Saturated Heart. I wouldn't do this with Forgotten Brews. You could probably do it if you just didn't have the time invocation on. It'd be fine. So bring Divine Super Combat, Prayer Regen, and a Bone Dagger. I use these Bone Daggers almost as disposables. I just drop them during Baba to make room for my switch into my range gear. They're like 2K a piece, so very cheap. So I'm going to be bringing 8 restores here. I guess I also need a Sandfew. Usually I bring all Sandfews, but I only have 4 left right now. I need to go buy some more. 1, 2, 3. So we should have 8 restores, or maybe 7 restores plus a Sandfew. Yeah, 7 restores and a Sandfew, and a Prayer Regen potion. I do recommend a Prayer Regen. It works good with the way the raid works. Because the boss rooms are almost long enough to make full use of them. The prayer regens and it reduces the need to do as much to drink as much restore during the raid, which is nice. They're like 90k, I think, so you could save money by bringing another restore. You want to hit this guy for at least a 7 or 8, otherwise I reset the raid. And I use these inventory tags that fill in the attack style for the weapon. Most people use the wireframe ones. This is just the way I learned, so that's why I use these ones. Try not to miss any ticks while in your attack cycles if you can help it. Especially before you run. I mean, you're going to run out of saturated heart here, so it's important to get as much damage in as you can before that runs out. I try to use I try to use about 2 or 3 doses of restore during this. I just lazy flick the offensive prayer. I don't flick the defensive prayer. Big part of my strategy is to just not take damage. If possible, so that I can get through the raids more consistently. Try to get through them with as few deaths as possible. There's not very many people that do 530s or higher that don't die. At least 10% of runs. 340. That was a pretty lucky time. I got a really good circle spec. More normal is around 4 to 4.5. Didn't drop enough. Oops. Thought he was going the other way. Okay, we gotta get our carousel. We're gonna do one deal here. I'm gonna drink a prayer regen here. And hopefully not have to use any more. Prayer pots during this. I'm gonna fang these guys. This is annoying. Okay. A little under 3 minutes. It's not a very good time. You want to shoot for about 2.5 minutes. Oh, I guess our prayer regen didn't work. Didn't click or something. Not a very good spec, unfortunately. Okay, make sure to drop your bone dagger here. I don't recommend dropping a potion because then you have to come back down here at the end of the fight to get it, which wastes time. There is an attack delay on this weapon. It's not like the blowpipe. So you have to wait for the projectile to, usually one tick, within one tick the projectile gets there. Similar to the BOFA. So we're running a little slow here. So we shouldn't need to drink any more prayer pots. Our prayer regen is getting us a little bit of prayer. $411, not bad. That's about average. Okay, we want level 4 Akka. Go this way. While you're running between these, you can swap your gear to get ready for the next. Drink your smelling salt. In this case, I'm going to put it away so I can get my weapon out. Shoot him. Okay, that's pretty good spec. 17 with the circle. So level 3. So it should be fairly easy. Be careful not to kill this guy before the second dung. I'm actually going to stop praying offensive prayers because it's going to be a while before the second dung comes up. Okay, pray range. Hopefully not too much longer. This is very unusual for this much damage to happen. Alright, attack, run here. He's dead. Attack this guy. Run here. Attack one more time. Wait until this shadows come there. Perfect timing. Put melee protection on. Okay. Run around. This guy's now trapped in the right spot. You can run here. If your circle does hit under about a 6 or 7, I do recommend using melee for the first 2/3 of the fight. And right before the second down on the shield, switch to mage so that you can be in mage when the major shows up. Okay, our prayer regen is out. Go ahead and pop that. Keep your thralls going. Okay, this is a little different than the melee guy. You don't actually need to worry too much about, or this is different than when you're using melee, is what I'm saying. You don't need to worry too much about making sure that this guy is where you want him. Got enough health here. Keep your prayer up. It almost never happens to me, but when it does happen, if you don't actually kill the major in time and he gets a special off, you should have enough health left to turn on protect from mage and save yourself. Pretty rare. Less than 1 out of 20, I would say. Okay, what I do here is I start stacking the dungs here. Okay, just attack, keep attacking this guy, absorb the damage. Whenever he dungs you like that, you can get 1 extra hit off if you just let him. Like right there, I just got an extra hit off. Sometimes you're able to escape as well. Ran out of prayer. Probably could have finished him without prayer, but I think it was fine. Okay, that was a good time. 5.5 minutes. That's above average. It's usually closer to 6. Should be willing to use, you should definitely use at least 1 dose of adrenaline here, and potentially 2. During Aqua. You should be willing to use 2. There's really no use for adrenaline. You get 4 doses of adrenaline during the fight, so there's no other use for it. During Wardens, because you only need it during P2, P1 and P2 really. And you can still save 1 dose for P4 if you want. Okay, we're good on that stuff. I do withdraw all so that I've got my adrenaline out, and pop my salts, go here, try to do all this pretty quickly. I like to do the white one first because you usually will get to a wave if you don't kill the shadow in time on the first down. And the white is the most damaging if you don't skip the wave. I would say it's pretty common that I just don't skip the waves. I just tank them and keep going. Mostly because I don't want to risk Akka changing attack styles. But if I've already taken some damage, sometimes I'll go ahead and wave skip. if I need to prevent taking the damage. Five, six. Okay, attack once, then run back. You can get one more attack off and then run. He won't attack you for the first like three or 4 seconds after he, or 2 or 3 seconds at least after his special. Try to get your keeper thralls going if you can, but don't ever waste an attack to get a thrall going. Thralls have very low DPS, and your shadow has extremely high DPS in this room, so it's not worth it. Okay. I lost track of my count there. Don't do that. Okay. I'll get back in rhythm here. Okay. I know that it's that another wave special attack is going to come before the wave comes, so that's why I went fire, because it gives me more time to complete the fire without risking a special attack. 5, 6. Okay, in this scenario, I want to keep my prayer definitely high and be ready to drink that adrenaline if I need to. I know that this guy won't kill me if I tank a wave, so I'm probably going to go ahead and tank one if I need to. Okay, got lucky there. Okay, before you kill this guy, make sure you are well situated. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to get him down under 100 and then pop my adrenaline, heal up, get my prayer back up, and then finish him off. Okay, pop my adrenaline, Karis, get my prayer up, finish him off, another prayer. Okay, get your melee gear on, attack, try to not get hit by these. It is ideal to have two, to have full health and, or high health and a full spec bar. I was not watching that one waves or that one shadow memory attack, so I took that damage, but okay, we got pretty lucky on the orb placement that time. Didn't have to use our second. So we should have plenty of resources here. Get your mage gear on. Don't mess around in here. We're looking pretty good on time. 6.5 minutes. That's a little slow probably, but not bad. All right, I like to get my fang out of here so that I don't accidentally equip it. Make sure all my melee gear is up here. Drink this. Go, go, go. Okay, then you can continue rearranging your inventory. It doesn't interrupt your attack. Make sure before you Karis, you drink an adrenaline. It's likely a dead run if you forget to drink your adrenaline. Try not to miss an attack while you're Karising. Need to get my gear all correct here. That looks fine. Okay, once he's around 80, get ready to swap your, right here we're gonna swap our gear. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rigor on. I swap all my mage gear back on and then my range gear on. For a couple reasons. For one, you want your range. You don't want your melee gear on because it reduces your range attack a bunch. For another, I like all my melee gear to be positioned back in the same spots. Okay, this hit. Okay, put that gear on. Okay, I'll put my range gear back on, then all my mage gear. Okay, get ready to get your prayer up. My prayer is way too low. Drink another dose of adrenaline. Get ready to Karis. I'm gonna Karis right now. Could have waited a little bit because his max hit is 10, but I don't like to mess around with it too much. Okay, swap that gear on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, mage gear on. I equip my circle here. Put augury on. Attack. Shadow. Keep your prayer fairly high. So this should last us through the rest of the fight, our prayer regen here. So popped one prayer regen at Baba, although I waited a little bit too long. Should have popped it at the beginning of Monkey Room. That wasted one dose of restore. You proc my thrall. Oh, it didn't attack for some reason. Alright. That's alright, we should have good time here. Should have enough time. I do like to move this in a little bit to be able to change prayers easier. I like to face tank this guy, but it doesn't really matter. However you normally do it, should be fine. Some people don't like to react to his attacks, and they prefer to memorize what wave he was on last. Whatever's easier for you. The main thing is consistency. You want to you should pretty much never take damage from not knowing which way to go or whatever. Okay, keep your prayer up. I don't usually circle here. You can drink your adrenaline if you're... Doesn't hurt anything anyway. Oops. Okay, 37 minutes. That's pretty fast. Usually it's 38, 30, up to 39. But 17%, that's pretty much what you always get, 17.1. 900K. Not great, but pretty average. So yeah, that's how I run a 530. Had a restore and a quarter left. So yeah, I usually actually just bring all sand fuse because I find it easier. But whatever. You get a little bit more prayer restoration during the raid. It does cost you about 40K per run, but whatever. Another thing you can do, and I didn't do there, is you can dismantle your fang when you get to that last room and then drop this. And you have to click through this interface to drop it. And you'll get another one of these, and then you can high alch that for 60K. If you want to make a guaranteed 60K every run in addition to your loot. Takes about takes about 20 to 30 seconds to dismantle it and do all that. Bring it out and then high alchemy it. If you're trying to do it efficiently, is it worth it? I don't know. Probably not, but it is guaranteed money. And it doesn't have the uncertainty of a shadow, so of waiting on your next shadow drop. So yep, that's how I run those. And again, I would run Bofa with 2 crystal top and bottom, and not bring a scorching bow. And then you can bring one more super restore. We got kind of lucky with our specs on Kefri and on Zebok and on Wardens. Although the Warden one doesn't make near as much difference as the other two. So, yep.